Welcome to Get Scared, our fun little spooky treehouse pal around where each week we talk about something spooky, something scary, or sometimes nothing like that at all. And if that sounds good to you, dear listener, then it's time to get scared. One of the best. One of the best I've ever done. If you ask me, I'm Shane Madej.
I'm Brian Bergara.
And that over there on the ones and twos.
That
is Matt Rial.
You introduce him as that over there.
Yeah, come on, brother.
But that's purposeful.
You say that thing over there.
That's extremely purposeful.
Was that in debrief that you do that?
I do.
And that thing over there. I'm a bit of a thing, aren't I? We were having a discussion right before this as to...
Were we?
Don't you want to bring it back?
No, I do want to bring it back because I want to...
Oh, sure.
This is just a quick thing I want people to chime off in the comments. Ryan was referring to Vinny's, the pee-pee man, his dog.
Yeah, that's right.
He was referring to his front paws as arms.
His arms. He's got long arms.
Do you at home consider all four legs, or are two of those arms and two of those legs?
I would say two arms and two legs because like they use the front half for arm things.
I guess I have a cat, and that could be a similar question because
right.
he just puts his arms out, I guess.
This was not intentional, but we could not have a better guest to ask about that.
We guess.
Oh, that's true. We can.
He's literally the host of a wildlife.
Yes, that's true. Okay, great. Okay, here's the setup for today. We're going to be joined by one of the hosts of the Tooth and Claw podcast, Wes Larson, who is a wildlife expert.
Squad Watcher has been asking for this for months.
For Wes Larson specifically?
They have been, and in fact, like they originally brought up Wes Larson before when we were talking about the Sloth Bear.
Oh, yeah.
And then I reached out to Wes and I was like, hey, can we, you want to do it? And he was like, absolutely. And I was like, oh, when we get in the studio. And then obviously that took a long time.
Yes.
Well, I'm very excited to talk with him.
And you said he's the host of the Tooth and Claw podcast?
That's right.
Fun name.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that I'm not really surprised that you've not listened to this, Ryan. It's a podcast where they go over horrific wildlife attacks.
That sounds awful.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, harrowing. You really, really love that one episode of This Is Actually Happening.
The bear attack, but that's because it's kind of weirdly inspirational.
Because for those, I'm sure we've referenced it before, but I believe the podcast is called This Is Actually Happening.
I think it's called This Is Actually Happening.
Which is, I assume some of these stories are pretty harrowing, but it's a podcast based around people telling stories about things that happened to them that, very close to death or very dangerous. And in the moment, they were like, I cannot believe this is happening to me. And one of the episodes is a man recounting being attacked by, is it a grizzly?
It's a grizzly bear. He gets mauled by a grizzly bear.
And it's crazy. I mean, the
detail is
we listened to it on our, was it on our Montana trip?
It was on one of our trips, yeah.
It was Montana.
We've listened to it on multiple trips, actually.
I remember it was Montana because I was gripping the wheels of the...
it was so snowy, yeah.
Yeah, it was very scary.
You can ask Wes about that.
I know. I'm curious if...
I'm sure he's probably... It's come across his desk at some point.
So that's going to be very fun to talk to him about bears and really I guess any sort of wildlife question.
We really want to get to the bottom of Ryan's fear of bears and figure out what's going on there.
I don't think
solve it.
There's not too much to it. I think they're just the apex predator on the planet.
I was thinking we could ask him about bear versus shark, which is sort of a common thing, but it is tricky because there are a lot of, we always go back and forth on like, well, is it on land and water?
Well, it's on land, it's entirely a one-sided fight.
Yeah, for sure.
If it's in the water, it's not as one-sided.
I think it's also pretty one-sided.
There's a chance. There's a chance. Because if there's a chance a human could kill a bear or a shark in the water, then I think a bear swiping around with big-ass claws could probably have a fair to good chance. A 1v1 human versus bear.
We'll talk to him.
It's not going to go well.
Before we move on, we'll be talking to him a little later in the episode. Mm-hmm. First up, a bit of business. This is exciting. This week on YouTube, Ghost Files Alone Together, Part 3. The thrilling conclusion of our 24-hour stay in the Sorrelweed Mansion in Savannah, Georgia.
The trilogy ends.
Yeah.
Some really fun stuff happens in the nighttime portion of this episode.
As of this recording date, I have not seen the third episode. I've only seen the first two.
So yeah, for those of you who have seen it and are in time with whenever the podcast is actually coming out, you will be you're just on the edge of a cliffhanger right now, I believe. Because the second
that's when you hear the noise in the
second
shop.
part is like as a cliffhanger. So you're going to see the result of what happens after that at the beginning.
It
of
was
part
fun
3.
to watch the second episode because that includes most of the stuff that I wasn't there for when I was on my little riverboat.
When you were on the riverboat cruise, yeah.
Really nice to see that.
I know you got the experience that I got of watching your riverboat cruise when I was because I was editing it, and I just put all your clips in a timeline and just watched it beginning to end. It was fun.
I got a little bit boozy on that cruise, I'll tell you.
You did.
I think I had like 3 or 4 margaritas.
You could tell because when you come back to the house, the first place that we investigate, you're extremely animated.
Well, it was sort of a breath of fresh air because I was out on the cruise. But before we get into yes. Okay. Part 3 on YouTube. And also, if you want to watch, those 3 episodes are already up on Watcher TV. And you can watch Too Hot for YouTube episodes of this podcast over there. And if you want 20% off an annual subscription, you can use code GETSCARED. And that gets you access to Screaming Room. We just did a Halloween watch through. This month we're doing a Thanksgiving movie. Final Fridays of every month we've got a new watch down. And new episodes of Drink to That on Wednesday. And Too Many Spirits is back.
That's right. And Halloween watch down, he means like a watch down of the movie Halloween on Halloween.
That's right. With Stephen Lim watching Halloween for the first time.
It's crazy. Screaming Room is where we watch movies, by the way.
You can go watch that now. And it normally is the final Fridays of every month, but for Christmas and Thanksgiving, those are on Thursdays, so we're dropping those on those days.
Yeah, we're dropping them on the holidays. So if you got no holiday plans, hey,
now you do.
Watch a movie with us.
You got one.
Anyway, yes, I guess I was going to say more about Ghost Files Alone. Going out on the riverboat and then walking through Savannah at dusk. The sun had just set, and I got back to I was in such a fine mood.
You're going to love
such a fine mood.
One of the cuts I did.
Yeah.
Because your experience of walking back, there's a really funny moment. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
It was when I see the other ghost tour?
No.
Did I film any of that? I don't remember.
I don't know if you... No, I don't think you did, because if you did, I didn't see it.
No. Well, I had a great time.
Yeah, I'm excited for you to see it.
Ryan, any reports from you? You just came back from a bachelor party. Is that something you don't want to speak about?
It was a lot. I'm very tired. It was fun. It was one of my best friends from 5th grade.
Oh,
so it was a fun time.
5th grade, a great year for friends.
It was a great year. It was a great year for friends. Well, I mean, I moved to a new school in 5th grade. So
did you really?
Yeah, that's when I met.
That's gotta be tough.
No, I didn't think so.
No, I remember like in 2nd or 3rd grade, they sort of redistricted like some of our boundaries or something. And some of my friends like went to other schools and I was like, this sucks.
Yeah. I mean, like, I guess like a lot of moving to new places, especially when you're like younger like that, it's easier when you play sports because you immediately are just like, okay, the first day of school, I remember going walking up to the basketball court and being like, I'll play. And then now you have a group of friends.
Wow. Cool. I guess sports are okay sometimes.
They bring people together. Yeah.
I was at a sports bar the other night.
You were?
Sarah went to the Chapel Rowan show.
Okay.
Near the
in Pasadena, right?
Pasadena.
I wanted to go to that show.
Some of our friends got tickets for us, but we have a friend who, look, I like Chapel, but I'm not like a super fan. And we have a friend who is much more, diehard, and they couldn't get tickets. So I was like, why don't you go instead?
Oh, that's nice.
No. What am I? A tall, lanky white man, being like, I like her album.
It is a good album.
Mermaid theme, huh? I tried my best to dress up for this one.
Mermaid theme.
But so it was just it was a boys' night, me and Obi.
Yeah.
And so
you took Obi to a sports bar.
No. But what I really packed it all in. I went for a run.
Yeah.
Then I came home and I ordered chicken wings.
Yeah, nice.
From a bar.
That's fun to do. Just completely negate the run.
Yes.
I'll do that too, where I'll work out just so I could eat something particularly shitty.
It's zero. No matter what the calories burned versus what I'm eating, it's net zero.
In my mind, it's zero. I mean, I don't work out. This is a world in which I work out. I'm going to start working out again. I keep saying that.
But so I went to the sports bar and said, okay, the wings will be ready at 8:46. And I was like, great. And look, I go to bars.
Yeah.
I've been to plenty. I'm often there with my friends, having a good time. Me going alone to a sports bar to pick up some food, I really didn't look like I belonged. Because it's also like kind of a neighborhood bar, and I've never been like a regular at a bar.
Yeah.
So I was at the bar. I was like, oh, I'm picking up my order. And the guy was like, they ain't ready yet. And I was like, oh, okay. And he was like, wait till you see the white bag over there. So it was like a good 20 or 30 minutes. And in the middle of that, I was like, I guess I'll just have can I have a beer? And he was like, yeah. And then I stood there drinking my beer. There was nowhere to sit. So I stood in the middle of the bar with my beer, watching the sports game. And I was like, these people are really excited about this. And it felt really cool. I just like on my guys' night.
You went to a sports bar?
I went to the sports bar and drank a beer and watched the baseball game, which I've never done. I've never watched a game at a bar.
By yourself or just in general?
With anybody.
Okay. In
Seems
general.
fun.
It's fun to watch it with other people. I've never gone by myself to watch a game at a bar.
It's cool.
At that point, I'd rather just watch it at home.
That's not true, Ryan.
When
we were on tour in Hawaii, there was a Dodgers game, and you did go over and sit.
Oh, yeah. That's also because it wasn't offered in the room, though.
Well, that doesn't matter.
Because you can't get it, and I couldn't get it on my app either.
Oh.
Makes me have to connect to Wi-Fi. But I'd rather watch it at home if I have the possibility. Because then I can watch it on home with my couch.
I think, what if you had like a neighborhood bar, though, where you knew everybody? Because it was I don't
like talking to people
really
though, when I'm watching games.
like I was missing out there because there was one guy who was like really excited. He was yelling at the ref or the umpire.
Yeah.
And he was like, fuck that. He was a younger guy. And everyone was like, oh, Benny's mad. And I was like, they all know him.
I mean, maybe they're all pals.
And they know he likes the Mariners.
Maybe they're all pals. I just
cool.
Like, at home, it's free too.
I've always wanted a Cheers. It's
not free.
I mean, the beer is free at least.
Watching sports is one of the most cost prohibitive things in
They make
America.
you subscribe to stuff, right?
It's so expensive.
You have to have like a package. Oh, wait, you basically have to have a cable.
You have to have cable. You have to have, or you just pay out of your ass.
It's really nasty
to watch. Like, I try to watch hockey games. So expensive, especially if you're watching in the city that you follow a team.
Also, Los Angeles
It's more expensive
sports.
in the city?
It's almost impossible.
Well, in LA, it is
crazy.
LA sports. There's weird deals with the Dodgers and Sportsnet and Lakers with Sportsnet. It's a mess.
They should shut it all down.
It's worth mentioning. It's Stephen Lim's birthday today.
Happy birthday, Stephen.
Happy birthday, Stephen.
Oh yeah, that's right. Of the day that this is going to come out.
Yeah,
he can run for president.
I hope not.
Is there an age? Is there an age minimum for president?
Yeah, 30,
I didn't know.
35.
Whoa, how about that?
If that age is right, I looked it up.
Don't worry, they've been clearing that.
Famous birthday.
They've been clearing that. Don't fall always just feel like a reset. Between back to school, busier routines and shorter days, and obviously for us, well, it's spooky season, and then it's right into the holidays. Oh my God! Well, that's why we love Factor. Their chef-prepped, dietitian-approved meals make it easy to stay on track and enjoy something comforting and delicious no matter how hectic the season gets. More variety, more meals. Choose from a wider selection of weekly meal options, including premium seafood choices like salmon and shrimp at no extra cost. Support your wellness goals. Enjoy even more GLP-1 friendly meals and new Mediterranean diet options packed with protein and good-for-you fats. Savor global flavors. For the first time, try Asian-inspired meals with bold flavors influenced by China, Thailand, and more. From more choices to better nutrition, that's why 97% of customers say that Factor helped them live a healthier life. Feel the difference no matter your routine. We love Factor here at Watcher, and we think you will too. Eat smart at factormeals.com/Watcher50off and use code Watcher50off to get 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for 1 year. That's code Watcher50off at factormeals.com for 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for 1 year. Get delicious, ready-to-eat meals delivered with Factor. Offer only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase. Hey, we got a call to kick things off, Matt? Is that
yes.
From Moira.
This is from Moira or Moira. I don't know which one.
I'm going by the pronunciation from Hook, Steven Spielberg's Hook, which is Moira.
And that's the pronunciation from what's the show that everybody likes? Ew, David. What's that show called?
What?
Oh, Schitt's Creek.
Schitt's Creek. That's Moira. And then I have a friend spelled the same way.
Is that Catherine
Moira?
O'Hara's character?
Catherine O'Hara. Yeah, Catherine Moira is a character.
Hey guys, this is Moira from Calgary, Alberta, Canada.
Cool.
I just wanted to say I finished listening or watching your last podcast.
And this is from March when we originally did the animal.
Gotcha.
challenge.
Relevant, pertinent.
And I've just been screaming at the show,
Good.
listening to Ryan think he can fight all these animals or survive 30 minutes with them, even if they're not aggressive. As someone who works in like the vet med field as a registered technician, I think Ryan is overestimating his abilities to be with a wild animal in a contained, like enclosed area. Anytime you're in with like a wild animal and you corner them, they will feel like they have to attack and often will fight rather than freeze, because that's their best way of getting out of there, especially those animals that are like more of a predator. For example, the polar bear, or the sloth bear. I think that it's great that Ryan has that confidence, but maybe he needs a little bit of a healthy dose of fear from these animals. Please don't go into the wild, Ryan. I'd be very scared for you. Thanks anyway, guys. And Shane, please bring back that rap about "What Up, You Dirty Worms," because I cannot stop laughing about that every time I hear it. Thank you so much. Bye.
A very divisive rap.
No, from
Really
my
was.
recollection, I remember I wasn't saying I would beat them in one, hand-to-hand combat. It was that
You
I
would
could,
last 30 minutes.
I would befriend them for 30 minutes. Is what I
That's
thought.
just as insane.
I think I could befriend these animals.
Woohoo, you're not Dr. Doolittle.
I haven't met a dog that doesn't like me. And dogs.
Just because you speak the language, it does not make you worthy of the fruit.
Is that from, what is that from?
It's from the Doolittle film starring Robert Downey Jr.
Just because you speak the language. What?
What?
Nobody saw that? Nobody
Well,
saw that?
I'm trying to figure out.
Nobody saw that.
What are you talking about? Dr. Doolittle starring Robert Downey
I know
Jr.
the movie you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm aware.
We're in the scene with the...
No, I don't remember.
And it
the
doesn't
scene.
have like... It does,
Just because you speak the language does not make you worthy of the fruit.
Well, what fruit am I trying to eat? Is the fruit metaphorical here? Like the friendship is the fruit?
It's a dragon. It's a golden dragon.
a dragon's in the movie? He's talking
Yes,
to
of
dragons?
course. I think it's a dragon.
What? Oh, like an animal dragon. Not like a...
Nobody saw Dr. Doolittle starring Robert Downey Jr.?
I saw the original starring
He
Eddie
could talk
Murphy.
to animals.
Oh, that's not the
I'm aware of that.
Who's in the original? Rex?
Oh, there was another one
Yeah,
before
yeah.
the Eddie Murphy one?
Who's in the original?
Was that not...
What's his name?
Jerry Lewis?
No.
Rex Harrison?
Is it Rex Harrison?
Okay. It was a 1920 children's book that was then made into a film starring Rex Harrison.
Rex Harrison. Why do I know that name? I guess he's a famous guy, but I don't know what else.
Was the Robert Downey one of those ones where it had like the posters and it was like Zendaya is a
Snail?
crow. Yeah.
Crow, also good. Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't remember any of the
Oh,
marketing
we got to
for this
do a
movie.
watch along. We got to do a watch
Do
along.
we?
Oh,
I don't
you
know if
gotta
we
see,
need
You
to.
got to see Doolittle. You got to see
I
Doolittle.
watched the Eddie Murphy one.
He produced that himself. Robert Downey Jr. He said, "This is a story that needs to be told.
I mean,
This is a man who talks to animals."
it sounds like it got to the right people then.
We should ask Wes if he's seen.
Dr. Doolittle.
Oh, we should rank the Doolittles. Doolittle bracket.
Oh, yeah.
Rex Harrison, Eddie Murphy, Robert Downey Jr. And maybe there's another one in there somewhere. Who knows?
There isn't.
I thought there was a cartoon.
I just looked it up. So thank you to Moira
Thank you,
for kicking it
Moira.
off.
Thank you, Moira.
It's good advice. It's good
Before
advice.
we get Wes on the horn, Ryan, you said I had asked you before where your fear of bears comes from. Did you have an experience or anything at all?
No, I just know them to be extremely strong and capable in a fight, more so than I think any other animal on the planet.
Yep.
I would not want to find myself at the other end of a ring if the other side was a bear, regardless of what animal I was.
Have you? I can't wait. Oh, remind me to ask.
Especially a polar bear. A polar bear versus grizzly bear would be a fun fight.
I want to ask Wes about The Edge, the movie The Edge.
Okay.
Is this just going to be have you seen this movie?
Yeah, I know. He's
No.
just gonna.
And then I want to ask him about The Bear. Has anyone seen The Bear? I think it's a Disney movie. It's live action. It follows a bear. And in the middle, they used to show it to us in grade school. Sometimes they'd be like, "We're gonna watch a movie," and we'd all get in one classroom. The whole grade would pile into one classroom, and then they'd put on The Bear, and we'd be like, "We're watching the fucking bear again, again with the bear." This is just a bear wandering through the woods. He eats mushrooms. He gets high.
That sounds nice.
It's a pretty good movie.
Fun and fancy free.
It's just clips of Jeremy Allen White sweating.
Yes.
Yes, chef.
Or whatever.
Whatever the fuck he says.
Whatever. That's all they say in that show.
Yeah, that's all they say. Cousin, chef. Cousin. What's the other bear movie? What's the
Brother Bear?
Revenant?
Big. Yeah, Brother Bear.
The
There's
Revenant?
Oh, The Revenant is probably different than Brother Bear.
I never saw The Revenant.
We should ask him if your brother could really be turned into a bear.
That's a good question.
Fox and the Hound has a really scary bear in it too.
Does it?
Yeah. The end of the movie.
I wonder what he thinks of Beethoven.
Well, you'll get a chance to ask all of this and more just a few seconds.
You seen Beethoven?
What
What about Beethoven second?
No, I haven't.
You're just going through the whole thing. He's just like, oh.
Debbie Mazar in Beethoven second. She wants to kill the puppies.
Charles Grodin in all of those?
Yep.
Oh, that's
Well,
funny.
actually, I think he exits at some point, and I think Dave Thomas might step in.
Oh, that sounds right.
I could be wrong about that.
We should do
He's at least in the first two. And in the second one, Charles Grodin enters a hamburger eating contest. he has to shit. So he runs to a porta potty.
Can you imagine we ask Wes, who is a biologist, about Beethoven, and he goes, that part in the first one where he eats the bird.
It's the second one.
Sorry.
Who do you think could win in a burger eating contest, bear or shark?
Probably bear.
I'm
bear.
sweating now. I regret bringing
Probably bear.
an extremely intelligent person on the show.
Burger eating contest.
Write that down. We got to figure that one out too.
No.
And then say follow up. What about a pie? What about a pie eating contest?
What kind of pie?
They're at the third follow up. Oh no. I'm starting to worry too.
Hey, you ever feel like your money just disappears each month? It's easier than ever to overspend, from subscriptions piling up to impulse buys after seeing an ad on your phone to ordering takeout a few times a month. Oh boy. Well, Rocket Money helps you rein it in by showing you where your money is going and helping you make better decisions so you can keep more money in your pocket. Now, Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps you find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bill so you can grow your savings. Rocket Money shows you all your expenses in one place, including subscriptions you forgot about. If you see a subscription you no longer want, well, Rocket Money will help you cancel it. How about this? Get alerts if your bills increase in price, if there's unusual activity on your accounts, or if you're close to going over budget, and even when you're doing a good job. Rocket Money has saved users over $2.5 billion, including over $880 million in canceled subscriptions alone. Their 10 million members save up to $740 a year when they use all of the app's premium features. So, cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/watcher today. That's rocketmoney.com/watcher. rocketmoney.com/watcher.
All right, then. Well, let's get into it. Wes Larson is a bear biologist and one of the hosts of the Tooth and Claw podcast. He's here today to get to the bottom of my fears of bears, which I don't think there's too much of a mystery there, but maybe he'll be able to clear some things up and change my opinion that they're killing machines. Not that they're killing, like they're not like fucking up computers. I'm like, they're machines that kill.
They're out there just kicking over food
They're put
robots,
on Earth to
food
kill.
delivery robots.
They're, the peak performance of
They're
evolution.
driving Waymos into the trees.
It's like what Dreyfus says about the great white shark in Jaws. They're a perfect organism. They're born to, what is it like? Made to like kill, eat, and make little shark babies. Kill, eat, and fuck.
Yeah, he says.
Does he say the F word?
Yeah,
No, he says to make
Kill,
little
eat,
shark.
and fuck.
He says to make little shark babies, but there is a take of him probably saying fuck.
Okay, Wes, thank you so much for joining us.
Happy to be here.
Well, hold that, because who knows what we're going to get into? Who knows? So you have the podcast Tooth and Claw. You are a biologist by trade.
Yes.
What is your background? How'd you get into this?
Yeah, so I specialized in bears. Around 2011, I found a professor who was doing polar bear work, and I knew it's what I wanted to do. I'd graduated my undergrad, and I just kind of bothered him until he gave me a job. And then after I kind of proved myself there, he hired me as a master's student, took me on as a master's student. So I did my master's in polar bears and black bears. And then since then, I've worked with sloth bears in India, grizzly bears here in Montana. And I've done a lot of other work with a lot of other animals too. So been doing it for over a decade now. But that's kind of where the fascination with wild animals and bears specifically
I would
started.
assume a lot of bears in Montana, right?
Yeah, we got our fair share,
Whoa.
especially grizzly bears.
Grizzlies, a lot of grizzlies.
Yeah.
Ryan, to give you some context, Ryan has had sort of like, what do you call it, your greatest fear? Bears? Bears. I sort of a little Chicago in there.
The thing is like I don't think about them and like shiver like somebody seeing like if they're afraid of mustard or something on the Maury show and they bring out a plate of mustard and they lose their mind. Like
Great example.
It's not something that occupies my brain on a daily basis, but I will say that if I ever am aware there's a bear around, I will keep my distance because I just
strategy.
I know in my heart there's nothing that anybody can do to stop that bear if it decided I wanted to kill everybody in this room.
Yeah. You know, for us on Tooth and Claw, that's kind of the whole purpose of the podcast, is to tell stories of people that have had attacks or really scary run-ins with these animals, but then tell them exactly what they could have done in that situation, you know, and explain to people listening how you actually do deal with those situations.
So you talk to a lot of dead people.
We don't. Yeah, we don't.
We do, but
We don't talk to them exactly. But yeah.
Here's what I would have done.
you may have covered this, but there was I think it may have been on our Montana trip. Are you aware of the podcast? This is actually happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you familiar with that one? The person who was attacked by a grizzly bear, and
The one in Romania, or is that what it
where
was?
it was.
I don't think it was in Romania.
Okay.
It might have been Canada.
It might have been Jeremy Evans.
I think that's who it
He's
was.
also, yeah, I think he's
It's a
been on
pretty
that. We
harrowing
haven't,
account.
we haven't done his story yet. He wrote a whole book on it.
He did. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're saving that one. But we've done a lot of bear attacks, and there are ways to stop them. They're not an immovable force. You can stop a bear, but
Okay. I'd love to hear them.
Yeah, I'm curious about this. When it comes to bear attacks, and I'm sure it varies wildly between species. Am I saying, is that species? I'm trying to think of the different.
I just think they're the
you got
apex
it.
predator.
Came over. Does the percentage of mortality differ from bear to bear?
It
Obviously,
does.
like grizzlies are probably a little more, and polar bears are probably a little more.
Yeah, so if you're looking at percentage of mortality, actually like polar bears would probably be the highest, because even though those attacks are incredibly rare,
Yeah,
when they do attack someone, it's almost always motivated by predation.
they get the
So
job
that
done.
is, so they are probably trying to eat you if they attack you, and you have to stop that attack or you are most likely going to die. But with like a grizzly bear, they are often just trying to neutralize you as a threat. You've entered their space. They're not happy about it. You haven't given them the space to just run away. So they neutralize you and then take off. That neutralization can be fatal, but it also can, a lot of people survive. Like Jeremy's a good example of that. You survive that attack with horrible injuries, but you do survive.
Is that like, does that boil down to polar bears living in an Arctic tundra, just like they need to eat? Is that like?
Yeah, they're curious animals.
Yeah.
And what it often is like a subadult bear that hasn't really figured out that really the only thing that works for them is seals and marine mammals. So they'll investigate a person as prey and they'll kill and eat people, but it rarely happens because most bears know just inherently that we're not fat enough for them. We don't have what they need to survive in the Arctic. So it's so rare that they ever do actually attack people.
I would also imagine too that the mortality rate is a little higher just because by nature of where they're attacking people in the snow, you can't really run away.
No, there's
Yeah.
not many
No
places
trees
to
to
go.
climb.
No trees to climb. There's not much of a chance you have. If I saw a polar bear and I was out in the snow and it was like, even if there was a couple people with me, I would just assume, oh, I'm fucked.
Would you try to snap your own neck?
Would I try and snap my? No.
Is that even possible? Can a human do that? Is that thing where they say you can't bite off your finger? Even is it? You know.
I don't know if anybody involved in this.
Have you heard of that? They're like, yeah, that thing they always say, like, you can bite off your finger as easily as you bite a carrot, but your brain won't
mentally
let you.
can't do it.
I don't believe that.
I would just assume
like I
that
can do it.
I would
I
just.
bet we could all do it. Let's all try it right now.
if I was with other people, I think I'd have a better chance just because it's like, okay, I'm confident I could at least outrun a couple of these folks.
Yeah, not me.
Yeah, we just did a polar bear episode though on a girl in Churchill, Canada, who she was faster than her friends, but the bear had kind of locked in on her and it passed. One of her friends even tripped, and the bear just ran right past that friend and got this girl. And luckily someone intervened and stopped this one. But you never know.
Obviously, if I'm that friend who trips, I'm still worried about my other friend. But at the same time, I see that bear truck past me. I'm like, whew, all right.
That was close.
It's a big relief.
That was close.
I'd be a little hurt. Like, why not me? Yeah.
I got meat.
What's wrong with me?
Cover myself in snow.
Bear spray works really great on polar bears, on grizzly bears, on black bears, on almost any animal.
I saw someone saying something about bear spray, and I'm curious if you can weigh in on this. I think some people believe, and I guess I was also under the impression that it was sort of like pepper spray, where you like spray it in their eyes. But then I saw at some point someone saying, no, you basically like spray it on the ground between you and the bear as like a barrier.
The truth is somewhere in between those two.
You might as well spray him in the eyes. Just
if you can get it, like if you could get the bear right in the face, great. But at that point, it's already pretty close, and I wouldn't want it to be that close. So what bear spray is a much larger canister than like your typical pepper spray that you'd have in like a purse or something.
Yeah.
It's about the size of this water bottle.
Well, that's crazy. He held up like a hydro flask. 'Cause that's a huge fucking
and
spray.
It's aerosolized capsaicin, so that pepper spray. And what it does is it shoots a cloud of it out.
Yeah.
And so you don't want to aim at the ground, but you do want to aim a little low when the bear's about 30 feet away. And what that does is it creates this cloud of pepper spray in between you and that bear.
Yeah.
And so if it keeps coming, it has to pass through that to get to you.
Okay.
And for a bear, it gets in its nose, its eyes, its throat. It just shuts all its senses down. It's not a good feeling for them. I've pepper sprayed myself. It's awful. It's
for fun
terrible.
or like
why'd you do that?
I've just walked through a cloud where I've sprayed it before, and it's terrible stuff. So it stops them. It's very, very, very effective. And the best thing about it is the bear gets to survive that encounter as well. It's with a gun, you're going to kill that animal and then you might just piss it off. With pepper spray, both of you get to walk away, which I love.
Is it a thing like in the Marines when you get your degree in bear biology, they bear spray you?
Yeah.
You have to.
Very Jeremy Strong.
Yeah.
I'm popping in here. Is it really the same thing as pepper spray, just a bigger canister with more juice or power?
It's the same compound that they make it from, capsaicin, but it is more concentrated and aerosolized. Okay. So with like pepper spray, it's in a liquid form.
I see.
With this, it's like a cloud of it. So you inhale it into your lungs. Whoa. It's terrible.
Is it like... does it disturb the skin when it's like just from contact on the skin?
Oh,
yeah. So you could just spray it at the bear, like in general. So, like if you're running, for sure.
But if the bear has if there's some distance between you, best bet is to like kind of
put that cloud out.
Put that cloud
do
out.
A few
I'm really good at putting clouds out.
Got like big practice on that.
Perfect. Yeah. You get about 7 seconds of spray. So I would do about 2 seconds to put that cloud, and then if the bear comes through and it keeps coming, you get it right in the face with the next spray.
This is incredible information.
And that's going to stop 99% of bears if you use it right.
Ryan, do you have any? Because I've got a few bear questions. Okay, my first one is, I recall maybe like 10 years ago, there was a video going around online of this. I think it was like a sort of old granny in Maine somewhere. And she was like, just with her cell phone in the woods. And she was like, everybody's scared of black bears. And let me tell you, they're just big raccoons. And she was like, look at this. And she like ran up to one and like spanked it on the ass. And the bear like ran away and she's like, look at that. They're afraid of me. Is that something you advise?
It's definitely not something I'd advise.
Okay.
She's, you know, a lot of that's true. These are black bears, especially, they really respond to acts of like dominance. So if you
really?
are very dominant with that animal, they tend to run off.
Yeah.
They tend to get out of there. But that's what I tell people to use that in a bad encounter. But in just like an encounter, if you just
like
stumble upon a black bear, then you're taking a risk that you don't have to take. What if that's that 1 out of a million bear that decides, you know what, fuck this, I'm going to attack this thing. You know, I'm stronger than you. That can happen too. And
but
it
also,
does.
like in that instance, obviously, if black bears are generally, they do respond to aggressive stuff like that, though. Isn't there also the chance that, you know, the like cubs might be nearby or you're between? Is that true with black bears? Like, will they go into crazy mother mode? Or is that?
They don't tend to cub defend like some of the other bears do. And that's because black bear cubs, from the day they leave the den, they are amazing climbers.
Wow.
So she trusts her cubs just to get up a tree, and she'll do the same usually. If you happen to like corner some cubs or get them in a place where they can't get up a tree,
I do
and
that
get
a
away,
lot. I go out in the woods and try to corner as many cubs as I can.
Yeah. Well, then you probably know that the consequences of that tend to be a lot worse. So they will protect their cubs in that kind of situation. But if you just like stumble upon a black bear with cubs, almost always those cubs are going to get up a tree.
Great. Okay. I'm making notes here.
Yeah.
Do you trust people, the regular person, to clearly identify whether they're looking at a black bear or a brown bear or a grizzly bear or whatever?
No, it's pretty hard. They can be really tricky. It's one of the things that I think I'm best at actually is people send me photos all the time and I tell them if it's a black bear or grizzly. But really in the US, there's only a couple states where you even have to think about grizzly bears. Montana, Wyoming, and Idaho are really the only ones. Washington a little bit. Mm-hmm. But we tend to give advice for bears that can be applied to either species. Yeah. Because then you don't have to worry about, okay, what am I dealing with here? Even though you're probably dealing with a black bear. The advice that we give out is pretty applicable to both.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Does this, maybe you've covered this on your podcast, but in your years of working with bears, have you ever had any close calls where you were like, ooh? I mean, because here's the thing. Obviously, bears can be dangerous, but I always approach these things from like, you know, we're the most dangerous animal. We've
without a doubt.
We've made the earth our own, and we kill animals as we please. You know, animals are just existing. So if they're dangerous, maybe that's relative to, oh, they could kill us. But look, you know, we're top dog here, so we can't go around being like they're evil because they kill a certain amount of humans every year. You know, that's all relative.
Yeah.
But have you personally had any encounters where you're like, ooh, that was a close one?
Yeah, I've had my fair share.
Yeah.
For me, I haven't had anything that's resulted in injuries directly from the bear.
Yeah.
Where I fell out of a tree once when I was chasing a black bear up a tree to sedate it in the tree.
Oh, that's commitment.
I fell out and broke my ankle.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, had to sit under this tree with an angry black bear for like 3 or 4 hours.
The black bear sedated you.
Yeah, so that was kind of scary. I had to keep throwing rocks at her and pine cones and whatnot as she was trying to come down the tree.
That's crazy.
So that was bad.
Was there no one else around you? This was a solo?
No, I had a buddy with me. We were on horseback. I couldn't get back on my horse. I mean, I just broke it bad.
Oof.
And so he had to ride out to get help, which was driving the truck a lot closer to us. And then I managed to he kind of just threw me over the horse like a sack of potatoes. And then I rode the horse about a mile out. That's kind of what I was wondering.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was like probably my biggest injury. I've had bears in dens. So with black bears, I would go into the den and do a little check on the bear as it was hibernating.
Yeah.
and that can get a little dicey.
You'd go into a bear
Yeah.
You went to a bear cave and checked on the bear while it was sleeping?
Yeah, so here's like, this is a photo of me in one.
Dude, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I thought for a second that was just a butthole, but yeah, that's a cave. Wow, how about that?
National Geographic took that one. That was a scary den.
National Geographic, Ryan.
Yeah.
Let's have some tact here.
National Geographic took that one.
Yeah.
I'm curious. A couple things about that is so when bears are hibernating, because I think you see a lot of information out there where it's like, well, they don't actually like go to sleep for the whole winter, but are they sort of in a state where like you can kind of poke around them and they won't rise? And also, are bear dens? In my mind, it's a very cartoonish representation of like they're in a cave and they're snoring.
Yeah.
Like, is it how accurate?
It's not far from that,
Really?
to be honest. So grizzlies will dig their own dens.
Really?
Black bears will find a natural cavity, and they sometimes will clean it out a little bit. But they can be anything, and they could be in a hollow tree. They could be in a cave. They could be just in kind of a crevice that they find in some rocks. They can be in a lot of different stuff. That picture, this bear had found this 80-foot tube that just went all the way down into the sandstone. I'd never seen anything like it. It was the craziest den I've ever been in. So it can be really different. And then as far as the hibernation thing goes, there's been a lot of debate whether or not we can call it hibernation with bears.
Yeah.
And what most bear biologists have settled on is that they're very efficient hibernators. So their metabolism drops, their body functions drop. They recycle their pee. They don't poop the entire time they're in the den.
Do they make a plug? I've heard.
Yeah, they actually do it. It's called a fecal plug. Yeah.
Ryan could use.
And they'll expel that as soon as they leave the den.
Yeah.
Gotta go somewhere.
Yeah, actually,
so when you say they recycle their pee, like internally, they're not like pissing into each other's mouths.
No, internally. Yeah. It's funny. So my little brother, Jeff, was on that study with me. He was like my field helper.
Yeah.
And we got interviewed by Ira Glass on This American Life.
Next up.
And Jeff
Talking to the Band
said,
Brothers.
yeah,
Come on,
he
man.
called it a butt plug on This American Life.
Oh, he's less tactful than we are.
How do they make
It was
the
great.
plug? Like, what's it made out of?
I don't totally understand the
Latex.
anatomy behind it, but essentially they just eat a bunch of really dense food and it clogs up.
I've been making
so when
a
they
natural
poop it out, it looks like this
Ryan does
big
that every
hardened, big hardened mass of feces. But yeah, they can come out of it really quickly. So when we would go to these dens, the bear would be awake. It would hear us coming. It would wake up. They're kind of moving slowly, but then by the time we're done, they're fully awake, and you have to be pretty careful. So,
Whoa.
What would that, if the bear was asleep and you were doing your health checks on these bears when they're hibernating and they woke up,
we'd sedate them.
Okay, because I was going to say,
we'd
how much
get in there
danger
and
would you
sedate 'em.
actually be in that moment? Probably a lot.
Oh yeah, being in the actual
A
den.
fair amount.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't do this with grizzly bears or polar bears, but with black bears you can. And honestly, they just want to get away. So if one had to come at me, I would have just laid flat and let the bear run over top of me.
That's what it would. Wait, that's what would happen?
It just would have wanted to get out, probably. Yeah. That never happened to me, but I've heard of black bear biologists that's happened.
Do polar bears hibernate? Or do they have caves? What do they do? Where do they hang out?
Yeah, my study was actually looking at denning polar bears, and it's just females that will dig dens in the snow.
Oh.
And then they have their cubs. They call them maternal dens. They're having their cubs in those dens.
Oh.
And they get completely snowed in to where it's just, they're stuck in there until their cubs come out in the spring. Yeah.
And I assume their body heat kind of keeps them
It keeps it warm enough, and they usually have a few feet of snow and ice that kind of buffer them. But
wow,
it's pretty amazing. And so if you're a polar bear, if you're born a male polar bear, you're only in the den once.
Wow.
If you're a female, every time you have cubs, you're going to dig a new den and have cubs inside that den.
Why do you do this?
I love it. I mean,
like when you walk into a den, can you just walk me through what's going on in your body? Is your heart beating really fast? Are you nervous?
Oh, yeah.
Are you excited?
Yeah.
Are you scared?
Yeah, well, we should rewind and say that word walk. It's usually like squeezing or crawling into a den.
Yeah.
That sucks because if something happens,
scarier.
you can't. Yeah, you turn around, you can't crawl out fast.
There's hardly ever any kind of way to get out. So I would have my brother hold my feet, and then if I screamed, he would pull me out so that I could get out in time.
Wait,
but
like with a rope? You have like a rope tied to your feet? Or something?
No, usually these dens aren't very deep. I mean, usually I just had to put the top half of my body in, and then I could get the bear. And what I had was this big long metal pole that had a syringe on the end of it, and I'd poke the bear with that.
Yeah.
Literally.
And typically they just want to get away, so they go to the end of the den, they fall asleep, we'd pull it out, we'd do whatever we need to do to the bear. But every once in a while, it would bite and pull the rod out of my hand, or they would run out of the den. So yeah, it was always scary. I mean, every single time.
Do you have like a significant other or family and friends that you
I
have
do, yeah.
Like, do you have like a group text you send before you go into one of these caves? It's like, this may be my last cave, or, you know, do people know when you're caving?
They do. It's funny that with black bears, this is such a common practice everywhere they live. And there really hasn't been any significant injuries by any black bear biologist.
Okay.
That people don't really worry about it.
That's good.
But it is scary. Yeah.
I'm curious, like, as a biologist who is doing these sort of things, like, what does your year look like? Do you get called out on various, are there like outfits and organizations that are like, we need this information about bears, or are there also, are there things that you want to know that you like put forth these sort of studies or, you know, expeditions to learn these things? How does it all work?
Yeah, it really depends on the job. So when I was doing that project, I was out in the field all the time, and I was doing a research project to learn something specific about that population of bears. Mm-hmm. And that was near Bryce Canyon. We were trying to just reduce any kind of conflict between campers and bears. Yeah.
You been there?
Yeah.
No, but it's what influenced Walt to make Big Thunder Mountain.
Lovely.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You got a Disney head here.
I love Big Thunder. It's a great ride.
It's a great ride.
There's a whole different show. You can email Wes about getting on. Ryan has
You can talk about the Country Bear
At some
Jamboree.
point, I do want to. I want to call my wife because she loves bears,
Yeah.
and I think she wants to ask one question. I don't know what it is.
Does she have a question?
Perfect.
I don't know. I'm gonna just call her out of the blue and ask.
All right.
Bears probably pretty cute when you hit them with one of those tranquilizer darts, right?
They're very cute.
Get real sleepy.
Yeah. And sometimes the den ones would have cubs sometimes, and we just got to hold their cubs while we were working on Mom,
That's crazy.
which was very nice.
I can't believe that.
You ever see the movie Old School?
I have seen Old School.
Remember that scene when he has the tranquilizer?
The tranquilizer in the neck.
Great.
You fool that shit out, man. That shit's not cool.
Speaking of bear-related media, I'm curious, did you ever play Red Dead Redemption 2?
I've never played it.
Okay. Have you seen any videos of the bear attacks in there? The bear encounters? Yeah.
Yeah.
Accurate?
Gnarly.
They're grizzly bears.
Yeah.
So they are a very territorial bear that if you surprise them, there's a decent chance it's going to decide to pick a fight.
Yeah.
So pretty accurate, but definitely, a bit more dramatic than they are in real life.
Do you kind of wince at stuff like that? Like The Revenant comes out, you're like, oh gosh, now I got to deal with bear stereotypes and fear mongering.
The Revenant nailed it. They did a great
Really?
job. That scene was like a perfect representation of a female with cubs being surprised. She neutralized him as a threat. She tries to leave.
Yeah.
He shoots her again.
Yeah.
He grabs his gun and so she comes back and says, job's not done, and mauls him some more. And that's very much how those can look. So that one was great, but there are a lot of movies that get them very, very wrong.
Now,
for
I'm
sure.
curious. So one of my favorite movies, The Edge. Have you seen The Edge?
That one's a bad one.
That's a bad one. But it's got Anthony Hopkins delivering a monologue about killing a bear, which is pretty, you don't get that every day.
That one's the more common kind of stereotype of like a big predatory bear that's
It's
trying
just
to eat
stalking them throughout the movie. Yeah.
It very, very, very rarely happens, and they're not nearly as kind of determined as that bear it was when they do decide to eat people.
That bear's, it's sort of personal for that bear.
What about Cocaine Bear?
Cocaine Bear.
That's
of
a
course.
bad one too.
That was based off a real story,
Allegedly
right?
based on a true story.
Yeah, the true story was that some cocaine fell out of a plane.
And a
bear found it, ate a small amount, and immediately died.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Really? Wow.
Yes.
I didn't realize it would be lethal. My wife I want to phone a friend here because she just want to ask a question.
Let's see what she's got to say.
Let's see what she has to say. I'm going to put her phone.
Hi.
Okay, Mari, you are on with Wes. Okay, Mari, what's your question?
Okay. Where and when can I go?
Wait a second here.
No?
Go see bears in the wild safely.
That's a good
Are you
question.
out of your mind?
Where can I want to see them. Is it Big Sur?
So I would say for me, the place I always recommend people is Yellowstone. Late May, early June in Yellowstone is such a great time to see both black bears and grizzly bears. I used to work in Yellowstone as a bear management specialist, and then I guide there now a bit too. And my last trip, we saw 30 bears. Wow. So it's a great place to go.
We're not going to do that, baby.
You can also go to Alaska to Brooks Falls. That's where they do Fat Bear Week. You'll see tons of bears there in a very safe way. Yeah.
If Wes comes with us, we'll go. I mean, don't worry. He can't hear me right now. This guy's crazy, man. He's talking about crawling in the caves and giving bears belly rubs.
Sounds so fun.
Okay. You can watch I'll show you the rest of the episode once we're done recording. Right. Good question, though. We're not doing
Hi,
it.
Mari.
All right, bye.
That does sound fun. That does sound fun. It does.
Fun.
Yes, it does.
There's great places all over the world to see bears.
Such
in
a
very
respect
safe
for them
ways.
that I don't ever want to be near them ever. I have no. You could say it's a prejudice, but I think it's a warranted prejudice of I just don't think there's any reason for me to be near them at any point.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Unless you were studying them or helping them like you are. What am I gonna get out of being bear's pretty big?
Well,
it can be an amazing experience, though.
That
It
is
really
my
can.
question, really. I thought the answer was going to absolutely be nowhere. Don't go anywhere to see bears safely. But I mean, there is some value in people seeing.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. That's honestly the whole point of our podcast is to empower people so that they can go see these animals in the wild in a safe way. Because when you do have that experience where, if you're in the backcountry of Yellowstone and you see a grizzly bear, and you feel like you're prepared for it, it can be a life-changing encounter. It can be something that you get to see this wild, amazing, beautiful animal in its natural habitat, and you get to leave that with, photos and memories and everything.
Yeah.
For me, that's what it's all about. Letting people have those experiences in a safe way. That's what makes people care about conservation. That's what makes people care about the animal. It's really powerful.
How do you feel about that in general? Just in the idea of conservation of a bear safari where people would let's say you took a group of tourists out into the wild to see these bears, industry. Do you think that's a good thing ultimately, a bad thing? And how does that compare to something like a zoo?
Yeah, I mean, I do that, so I think it's a good thing.
Okay, because that feels like the best case scenario, right?
Yeah, you definitely have to do it ethically, though. I mean, for us, we have to have the right permits. We have to do it safely. We have to make sure people are prepared for everything.
You can't do no grizzly man stuff.
No, so that's the thing is, if you show people like him, and we've done his story, and I have his autopsy photos. I know all about Timothy.
Oh boy! Oh brother!
Yeah.
Do they only give those to bear guys? Is that how that works?
I think so. Yeah.
You're a bear guy. Take a look.
Yeah, but he wanted to touch the bears. He wanted to live with the bears, and he's setting a really poor example where people want to go and then do that themselves. You can do it in a very ethically, good way that supports conservation and that helps people build that relationship with the animal. And those are the people that are then activated to donate, to contribute, to change their lifestyle, to do whatever they need to do to protect those animals.
Is there does that also build up a tolerance in the bears of seeing humans more so? So maybe when they run into a human out in the wild, they're not going to immediately be oh, this guy got to go.
Yeah. So I worked in Yellowstone, and a big part of what we did was hazing. So we would like when bears got too habituated
40s to the bear's claws, and you
made them play Edward 40 hands. All right, bear, bend over for this paddle.
Bears would get too habituated. That's what you're talking about, where they'd be just right by the road, or they would let people get too close to them or whatever.
Yeah.
And so we'd go out with like paintball guns that had chalk paintballs or 12 gauges with beanbag rounds.
Yeah.
And we'd haze the bears that had gotten too comfortable around people.
To literally save them, like protect them.
Yeah.
Right?
You're teaching that bear, like, okay, people aren't something you want to be around and close to.
Gotcha.
Or maybe roads aren't something you want to be around and close to, because that's what kills the most bears is roads.
Yeah.
So that was my job there. And so habituation is something we kind of accept in national parks. It's going to happen, and people can then see these animals. What we hate is food conditioning. So if someone's feeding bears, then they start to think, oh, this is a source of food. And there's always problems that come from that. Always. So that's something we'd never tolerated. If bears become food conditioned, they get removed from the population.
Earlier we mentioned that we had played this game with Ryan. We all were playing this game. It was, It was this was earlier this year, I believe. The question posed was you get $5,000 every time you enter a room. Was that 5,000? Yeah. And you're in the room for a half hour. You say you're going in the room. You're in the room with a random animal. And how many times can you do that before, being in there, maybe it's a snail, fine. But then Ryan had a lot of confidence. And this was sort of around the time people were like, hey, you got to get some experts on the show. Get Wes on the show. Because Ryan at some point was posed to be in a room for just an empty room for a half hour with a sloth bear.
Yes. I didn't know what that was. Yeah.
At least in America, I feel like sloth bear is something that a lot of people don't know a ton about. They're more popular. Is it sort of the India region?
The Indian subcontinent.
Yes. Yeah. So, and you mentioned them a little earlier, so you clearly know a bit about them. Give us the rundown. Would Ryan survive a half hour in a room with a sloth
Absolutely
bear?
not.
Okay.
No.
Would there be any chance? Would there be any chance for me to pacify it in any way?
No.
Like, what if I just stayed in my corner?
If you were to pick one bear to not be in a room with for half an hour,
really,
that would be the bear.
More so than polar?
Yes.
So what's the vibe of them?
They are smaller than our black bears, a little bit smaller, but they are incredibly defensive bears because they have co-evolved with these big feline predators like tigers.
Yeah.
And I wrote this paper. This was like my research was on sloth bears, and I wrote the paper about their relationship with tigers. And because of that, because they have actual predators that kill them, they're one of the few bears that's predated on by these big cats. They've evolved this really hyper aggressive defensive strategy where if they're approached by something they don't like, they'll just hit it with everything they've got. And that's to deter it. The tiger's like, whoa, fuck this. This is too much for me. I thought this was going to be easy, and it's not. And for a human, they do the same thing with humans. It's just devastating. So this is the bear that attacks the most people by far.
Oh, damn.
The most fatalities by far. I mean, there are hundreds of sloth bear attacks every single year. And grizzlies, it's like a couple dozen worldwide.
So I guess you're describing just basically like just generational trauma coming to fruition.
I mean, picture the Tasmanian devil in bear form, and that's the bear you're putting yourself in the room with.
Damn, dude. I was hoping I could feed him some like peanut M&Ms or something, and he'd be like, chill, dude.
Yeah, I think we skipped over it pretty quickly because
none of us knew what it was.
It's sloth bear, and then it's
a poorly named bear.
And it's pretty small.
We looked a picture of it, I think, like it looked small.
It looked
they are small.
It looked feral. It had it looked bald almost.
Yeah.
People...
This is the bear that they would have in like dancing bears on the street in India and stuff too, because they would raise them as cubs.
Yeah.
And I worked with this group, Wildlife SOS, that rescued every single one of those bears.
Oh,
so if you raise this bear as a cub, you can actually make them quite tame.
Yeah.
But in the wild, like if you're putting a wild sloth bear in a room, I don't want to be in that room.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm not taking that one. Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
I think we let you go in the room a couple more times.
I think you
in
did,
the process.
Yeah, but I noted, I was like, he's already a goner. He's a ghost at this point.
Yeah, people, the audience, you should be proud though, Wes. The audience, many members of the audience was like, no, I will listen to Tooth and Claw. That's not the one to be dealing with.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I thought polar bears were the most aggro of all the bears.
No, I mean, if you're being attacked by a bear, that's the one I least want to be attacked. Like,
Amen
if
to
it's
that.
actually attacking me.
Yeah.
But as far as like, proclivity to attack, its willingness to attack, I would say sloth bears are number one.
Yeah, I want nothing more than bears to have their space and me to not be anywhere near that space.
Yeah.
Holding space for bears.
I think that's fine. I really do.
As long as it's
think
like, I guess
that's an
not like a
okay way
zoo.
to
I know
look
there's
at
some good zoos, right? Is it San Diego?
There's plenty of good
San
zoos.
Diego Zoo, that seems like a good zoo.
It's a great zoo.
Great zoo.
A+ zoo.
I was just there
Yeah.
a few months ago. Beautiful.
I'm a
zoo.
big fan of zoos.
Yeah.
I think they do a great job of connecting people again to animals. They contribute a lot of money to conservation. Just make sure you're going to ones that have the proper
they're approved,
accreditation.
right, yeah.
Is there any ones in
Yeah.
SoCal that I should never go to?
Just avoid like the roadside, like Joe Exotic type zoos.
Okay, I won't go to the
Yeah.
Tiger King
Yeah.
one.
Yeah,
right.
don't do those ones.
I got a couple more questions. Do you have like a bear bucket list of like things that you like, either like places you want to go to observe bears, or like things you want to learn about and study and get data about? Because obviously, you still have a long career ahead of you. Is there anything in your sights that you're hoping to accomplish?
Yeah, for me right now, I'm mostly doing the podcast, and then I'm doing a bit of sloth bear research still.
Yeah.
But I've seen 5 of the 8 bear species in the wild. So like my big bucket list would be to see the other 3.
What are the 8? I'm actually curious.
So we've got grizzly bears or brown bears. They're called brown bears, and everywhere else that's what they call them. We're the only ones that call them grizzly bears.
Okay.
American black bears, polar bears. Those are our 3 North American. In South America, there's the spectacled or the Andean bear. That's what Paddington is.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Wait, are they nice in real life?
They are probably the nicest bear.
Fuck yeah. That's so
I still wouldn't want to be in a room with one, but still probably the nicest
unless
bear.
I had some marmalade.
We've got sloth bears. So those are the 5 that I've seen that I've said so far. What I haven't seen are sun bears, which are found mostly throughout Southeast Asia.
Okay.
Asiatic black bears found throughout mostly Eastern Asia, and then giant pandas, which are just found in China and really hard. That's the one that's like the unicorn. There's breeding centers where you can see them in a semi-wild state.
Yeah.
But to see a truly wild giant panda is very, very, very difficult.
How many of those are there in the wild at this point? Do they?
A couple hundred, I
That's
think.
crazy.
Yeah.
They all know kung fu.
And there's a lot in these breeding centers. I do think in the future we're going to have a lot more giant pandas.
Oh, that'd be great.
They've kind of figured out how to breed them in captivity and get them released. But for now, there's not many in the wild.
Is there like a thing you do every time you see one of these 8, like to put them in your Pokedex, so to speak? Like you take a picture or...
Yeah, do you have like a checklist like, okay, I want to do this with them, go in their den, climb them up, chase them up a tree?
I would love to do all of that with all of them. The ones that I haven't worked with as a biologist, I'm just trying to get photos. I'm a bit of a photographer too. So yeah.
I also, you talking about the 8 bears, I think, and if this is completely not factual, we can just cut this out. I thought I had read recently that the bear depicted on the California flag was this sort of allegedly extinct, like bigger version of a bear that currently exists. Is there any truth?
A megalobear.
You're not that far off in that it's a grizzly bear.
It is.
So it is locally extinct in California. They don't exist in California anymore. So that's kind of the debate, is California has an animal that they wiped out on their flag.
Was it sort of different in any way, or was it just called the California grizzly solely because of the geographical?
It was just called the grizzly bear. If people wanted to call it the California grizzly bear, they could have, but it was just a grizzly bear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I think now if we want to get into just some kind of tips,
Survival
and safety,
tips?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
You can bring up
actually,
the
yeah.
sack.
Oh yeah, because like, what do I do? Like, because when this guy was getting mauled by the bear, Jeremy Evans, he was just kind of flailing at whatever he could grab, and he had mentioned grabbing what felt like a sack, but it was a female.
The two
bear.
things he did that he mentioned that seemed to throw the bear was one, he reached down its throat,
grabbed its tongue so it couldn't
like
bite.
the tongue like in the esophagus or something. And then the other thing, I think he reached for the testicles or genital region, and that also seemed to send the bear running. So what tips, if anyone's out there, I guess first off, like, what's the best way to avoid a bear encounter in the first place if you get wind of one, or, you know, which is not to be in? And then two, it's happening, what to do then?
Yeah, so those kind of like put your hand in its throat, grab its nuts, punch it in the face, poke its eye. You hear these for a lot of different animals. You hear it for sharks, you hear it for bears, you hear it for alligators, you hear it for everything. And my main advice is don't be in that circumstance where you have to do a last resort kind of thing like that.
Yeah.
That is something that could work, but you're being mauled. If you're doing that, you're already being mauled. You're already, like, if you look at a photo of Jeremy Evans, he looks very different now than he did prior to that mauling. And you don't, that's what we're trying to stop people from having to go to a last resort kind of defense that very likely won't work.
Yeah.
So the main thing is not what you just said, not getting into that circumstance in the first place.
Right.
So with bears, we'll focus on bears.
Yeah.
Any species of bear, they're most likely going to run away if they get the opportunity to run away. So the first thing you want to do is, if you were in a place with a lot of bears and you're hiking or whatever, hike in groups and make plenty of noise. So if you are by yourself and you're seeing blind corners, yell out, make a bunch of noise, let any animal know that you're coming. And that way it doesn't have to make the decision whether or not you're a threat, because it already is just going to leave.
I recall that Les Stroud, do you know Les Stroud, Survivor Man?
Yeah.
Did you ever watch that?
Yeah.
I recall there was an episode or two where he was walking around the woods, somewhere, and it was bear territory, and I think he walked around with a kazoo, I want to say, and would just sort of play the kazoo as he was walking to deter,
For me, it's more like looking, and if I see an area that I don't have visibility or something like that, I'm just going to yell out, "Hey, bear," I'm going to yell out whatever. I'm going to make loud noises so that bear can hear me, and it's going to leave. And that's great kind of preliminary advice. Hike in groups, make plenty of noise. If you're by yourself, make plenty of noise. But the three things I tell people, if you see a bear, if you encounter a bear, there are three things that are going to work for almost any species in almost any circumstance. Group up. They really don't like attacking groups of people.
Okay.
There are records of them attacking groups of 2. Groups of 3, it's almost unheard of.
Wow.
Where if the people group up, if you spread out, they'll actually hit each person individually, sometimes even.
Well, and also in the edge, there were 2 of them. At one point, 3 of them, because Harold Perrineau was also with them.
Yeah.
It did attack all 3 of them.
Yeah. Yeah, but we're not going to use the edge for data here.
Agree to disagree.
Grouping up is very effective. So that's number 1. Unified group.
Okay.
2, get your bear spray out and get it ready. And now you're going to say, what if I don't have bear spray? Especially if you're in grizzly bear habitat, you don't have bear spray. It's like saying, what if I'm not wearing my seatbelt in a car accident?
Yeah.
You're already taking a huge risk that you don't need to be taking. Get some bear spray, know how to use it, keep it on your hip, and just have it with you, because you are in a place where you need to have some sort of tool to stop an encounter if you happen to have one. You're probably not going to, but if you do, you're going to feel a lot more comfortable with bear spray. So number 2 is get your bear spray out and get it ready. There's a little safety that you just slide off and it's ready to go.
Ryan, can you imagine fumbling with that safety?
I was about to say, dude. I tell people when you buy a new can, just kind of work the safety a few times. You can slide it off and put it back on, slide it off, put it back on, just so you know how it works. And always carry it in the same spot so you have that muscle memory.
Good.
Third thing, slowly back away. You never want to run with hardly any animal, unless it's like a ungulate, like a moose or a bison or something, then sure, run. But any kind of animal that has the capability of eating you, don't run, because it can trigger this predatory instinct because what does prey do? Prey runs. So if you run, then suddenly that animal's like, wait, maybe this is actually food and I do want to chase it and eat it.
Back
so
up
scary.
slowly. Maybe give it the finger.
Back up slowly in a group
Rhyme
with your
with the
bear
finger.
spray.
Double finger. Double finger.
Sure. If you want to do that.
Just so it knows
Great.
who's boss.
So you're going to, even if you go to the national park website right now, there's going to be a bunch of other information like, put your arms above your head, talk slow, like quietly and gently and respectfully to the bear, whatever.
I respect
all this
you.
extra stuff. Yeah. I don't try to teach people that stuff because it confuses people. And then when they have this interaction, they're thinking, okay, I'm supposed to put my arms up. I'm supposed to do all this stuff when all of that hasn't been proven to be effective.
You've sort of got the core 3 here.
Yes.
Yeah.
What has been proven to be effective is grouping up, getting your deterrent out, your bear spray, and getting it ready and backing away slowly. And that will stop 99% of negative encounters.
Does that make you feel better, Ryan?
No. But if they were to somehow penetrate all of those and like got past my cloud of bear spray, and now we're face to face and it's go time, is there one spot that I should be targeting for a concentrated punch of some sort?
So in that circumstance, that's when the species does kind of matter a lot. Because if it's a grizzly bear, what I would tell you to do, if you're being mauled by a grizzly bear and you're out of other options, you just want to play dead. You want to go in the fetal position, cover your neck, cover your neck, cover your face, and hope that bear's just trying to neutralize you. Because as soon as it thinks that you're dead or whatever, it's just going to leave and gather its cubs and get out of there. If it's a black bear or polar bear, it's probably going to eat you. And there's probably nothing you can do to stop it.
All right.
So those are ones that you would fight back. If you've exhausted every other option and that bear's on top of you and it's a black bear or polar bear, you just got to fight as hard as you can. So yeah, punch it in the face, in the eyes, in the nuts, wherever you can hit it. But these are very, very durable animals.
Yeah.
When you think about a polar bear will bring an 800-pound ring seal or bearded seal, out onto the ice and tear it apart. You can't fight like that animal fights.
No.
You can't do the damage to a polar bear that a seal can. So
that's my fear.
It's not a good circumstance.
That's why I feel like there should be at least one, like, how like in Star Wars when they blow up the Death Star, there's like one little spot that maybe, because I feel like if I punched a bear with all my might in the face, it's going to take off 0 HP. Like that bear is going to be full 100.
A black bear, you have a decent shot of discouraging it. A polar bear, it's close to 0.
But also if I miss too, like my hand is going right into its mouth. That's why I feel like a nut shot is probably.
You go to punch it, it just bites your hand.
And with the grizzly bear, you might just enrage it further because it might just be trying to neutralize you. And it's like, okay, it's fighting back. I'm going to intensify too.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
So
okay.
The animals that you want to fight back with are like cats, like a mountain lion. If you're out hiking in LA and you have one chase you down, you fight as hard as you possibly can because it's probably going to think this isn't worth it and it's going to run off.
And are the cats are the ones that you go big for, right? You try and be big and loud and
make
scary.
yourself big. Yeah, you just be as intense. You run at it. You do whatever you can. You throw things at it. And it's going to be like, okay, this isn't prey. This
similar
this
to
is
a cat at home.
Exactly.
You kind of you be alpha with them.
I was thinking very similar to, and I know that like they're far back in the ancestry. They're somewhere linked, like bears and dogs. But like the whole like, don't run from a dog because it's going to want to chase you.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah.
Don't run from any animal that could potentially want to eat you because it very likely will chase you.
One last question for me here too, because I've always thought bears were the apex predator on the planet, and I'm kind of curious if you think so as well. And I'm just going to ask you, bear versus this other animal, which one do you think has a better chance in winning in an all-terrain fight?
Yeah,
we're just going to start with a really hard one.
Yeah,
bear versus shark, great white shark.
Yeah. First of all, to answer the apex predator thing, I would say polar bears, yes, because they're a predator. They're a carnivorous bear.
Yep. And they swim
most of the other
they swim,
Yeah. Most of the other bear species are opportunists. So they're eating lots of plants, fruits, whatever they can find. They're not like true predators. So for me, the only one I would say is like an apex predator is a polar bear. Grizzly bears are too, but just because of their size, not because of their predation necessarily. All right. Getting past that then. grizzly bear versus shark. Is that what you said?
Or polar bear versus shark. I guess best of the bear representatives versus the best of a shark. I think on land, bear easily wins that. In the water,
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
it's
In the water, I'd give it to a shark.
But there's a chance maybe the bear may win that one.
It depends. Yeah, if we're talking the best, so if we're talking like a full-size female great white versus a big male polar bear, it's the great white.
But on land, so is
On
it?
land,
Is it
Yeah, on land,
is
it's
it- is it-
flopping around.
I think I could be a shark on land.
I guess is it like what I'm saying is like
Shoot it with a
who
gun.
has a better chance of beating the other? I
Hit it
suppose
with a hammer.
in their territory.
Yeah, we do this on our show. We do a lot of cage matches.
Yeah. Oh, I love
and
it.
I think with the polar bear and the shark, what we did is we said it was in like 4 feet of water. So the
Oh,
bear
that's interesting.
the bear has, it can
Yeah.
touch the ground, but the shark can also move around. And in that circumstance, I'm giving it to a great white. But I think there's a lot of shark species a polar bear would kill. But a great white, they're so a big, full, mature female great white is 20 feet long, weighs a couple tons.
But
this is a
neutralized completely on land.
huge animal. Yeah, on land, you're right.
Because
Because
polar bear has a chance, at least in the ocean, to get a couple lucky
Hey, you
hits
got it
in.
there. You got it there.
Polar bear versus hippo.
Hippo.
Damn, that was very sure.
Hippos are pretty
Yeah.
ruthless.
They're just so big.
yeah.
It's the size there. Yeah.
Polar bear versus lion.
That's a really good one. I would probably say the polar bear because of the size differential again. Lions are better at quickly killing prey. So that's the edge a lion
I
has.
was going to say they seem like they might be more agile and sort
they're
of
more
like,
agile and they dispatch their prey. So like a cat has to kill its prey quickly. So they often go for like the throat or they'll separate the spine or they'll do something that kills the animal very quickly.
Alpha.
Whereas a bear will simply, like a polar bear will pull a seal out. It'll just sit on it and eat it.
Yeah.
And that seal dies a very bad death
Oh
for
my
a
God.
while.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
So that's where the lion has the edge is it could probably kill the polar bear faster, but polar bear's a lot bigger.
And this
so
is
I'm going to
my,
give it to the polar
my
bear.
last one. I'm very, very interested about this one because this is basically a supercharged human. A polar bear
Yeah.
versus a very giant gorilla.
Yeah, I've gone back and forth on because gorilla grizzly bear is the one that people always say.
What would
And
the
I-
apex gorilla be, like a silverback or something?
Yeah, and they top out at like 400 pounds.
Yeah. And similar
if
to
you're-
what you were saying, there's bad representations of bears. I would assume Congo is not a very accurate representation.
Not a
of gorillas.
great, not a great
Just wanted to
representation.
Old
confirm that.
dogs.
Yeah,
Old
if you're
Baby's day out.
if you're taking the average, so polar bear I think wins
Yeah.
because they're just so much bigger. With grizzly bears, it's a lot more interesting because if you're taking the average grizzly bear and the average gorilla, they're pretty close to the same size.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Grizzly bears on average, like in Montana, we're looking at like 300 to 500 pounds. If you're taking the biggest grizzly bears, so like the coastal ones up in Alaska, where they're often more than 1,000 pounds.
Are they generally just bigger in Alaska than everywhere else?
Yeah, because they're eating a ton of salmon. They're eating really good food.
I
This
didn't
is
know that.
coastal Alaska.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
inland ones aren't nearly that big.
Interesting.
They're easily going to beat that gorilla again because of the size difference. You're looking at like a 1,200 pound animal versus a 300 pound animal.
Oh my God.
But the average one, I think it's a pretty good fight, but I would give the edge to the bear just because its weapons are better.
That kind of answers my whole question of like, what could I do if the bear got past my plume of bear fucking mace? Because like,
Yeah.
if you were to give me 10 times, 20 times the strength and muscles and like, 400 pounds and I still don't have a chance,
Yeah.
then I get, because I was wondering gorilla being upright, having length with the arms, maybe that would be helpful in a fight scenario.
I think it's a really good fight. I do. But I mean, I've seen grizzly bears pull down bull elk, that weigh over 1,000 pounds, or maybe not that much, but close to 1,000 pounds. And that's an animal that if you were to see a huge bull elk, you're not going to think, oh, I can fight that,
Yeah.
So it's just, they're on a different level when it comes to strength and power.
I could talk about this for another 5 hours, honestly.
I'm happy to come on anytime you guys have animal questions. I'm happy to be your expert.
I would love it. Do you have any bear books you recommend or any literature that you love?
My favorite is, it's called Bear Attacks, Their Causes and Avoidances.
Great.
It was written originally, I think, in the 80s by Stephen Herrero, who is kind of the godfather of bear attacks.
Mm-hmm.
And my professor that I did my master's with, he was his mentor.
Oh, cool.
So I kind of see him as like my bear grandpa. And that's my favorite of like, if you really want to learn about how you interact with bears and why they act the way they do, that's the best book I can recommend.
Cool.
Oh, actually, one last question. I completely forgot.
Yeah.
In your opinion, best bear character of all time?
Oh, interesting.
Best bear character.
Does
That's
this
a really good
include,
What does
one.
that mean? What does that even mean?
So what is this? Is this all bears across
We're
all
talking
media?
Paddington,
I like-
Winnie the
yeah.
Pooh. We're talking Big Bear in the Blue House. We're like
Yeah.
You're talking the bear from Revenant?
the bear from
Berenstain
Baloo
Bears.
from Jungle Book.
Yeah.
Okay, he's got to talk.
Oh, Baloo's a good.
Berenstain Bears? Are they in the mix?
They're probably in the mix.
Okay.
I might have to go Baloo. It's between Paddington and Baloo, honestly.
Blue's pretty
Nice.
good.
Yeah,
Baloo
but
pretty
Jungle
funny.
Book was my favorite Disney movie my whole life, and
That tracks, I think, just in the,
Yeah.
the last hour
Yeah.
we've spoken with you. A guy is surrounded
Yeah.
by a bunch of cool animals.
Yeah, that's true.
yeah,
Is Baloo meant to be a sloth bear?
yeah. So India has 3 different bear species,
He could scan,
but Sloth Bear is what he was based off of.
Ah,
jazz scan.
I love that.
Yeah,
I'm
no, they have
Scotty
4 bear
Paddington.
species.
It'd be crazy if Baloo went crazy and just like killed Shere Khan.
I want to be like you. And
Shere Khan stepped up to Baloo and Baloo just went crazy and
And he grabs him by the
necessities.
tail and whips him around. You know.
yeah, it's true.
I don't think you don't have to ask for this, Wes. We'll do it for you,
Yeah.
our audience. If there's any crossover from the Get Scared Tooth and Claw, and you're a great artist, let's see Wes as Mowgli, surrounded by
love
his
that.
favorite
Yeah.
animals.
Yeah.
I got to go Paddington for it's. I just love. I love
love
that
Paddington.
I love that Paddington was your runner up. That's very good.
Yeah, Paddington 1 and 2 are unimpeachable.
Hey
perfect
man,
movies.
you're preaching to the
Yeah.
choir here.
Terrific.
Yeah.
As I said, I could keep this going for another 5 hours, but I think we got to wrap it up for the sake of the episode. Wes, thank you so much for talking
Thank you
with
for
us.
coming in.
Yeah.
Obviously, you have your podcast, Tooth and Claw. Is there anything else you want to plug? We recommend people go listen to the podcast.
Yeah.
But anything else?
Just Tooth and Claw, honestly, right now. We love telling these stories. We have a really fun time with it. So check it out. And if you really like it, we got our Patreon channel too, which we have extra
incredible.
episodes there.
Amazing.
So, yeah. Yep.
This has been so illuminating. Wes, thank you again for chatting with us, and stay
Anytime,
safe out
truly.
there.
I
It
will.
sounds like
I
you
promise.
will, but you know,
Yeah.
who knows? All right, later, man.
Thanks, guys.
We plugged it several times, but go check out their podcast, Tooth and Claw. Ryan, do you feel better?
No, but it's nice to know the stuff.
It's pretty interesting. We had horror maestro Chris Stuckman on, who was sticking up for the xenomorph, and then and now we've got a bear expert on who is saying, great white probably more apex than bear. It's just interesting that all these you bring on an expert, they say, you don't know what you're
But he
talking
did concede that shark has no chance of beating the bear on land.
about. I know. I'm just giving you. I'm giving you guff. I think that's going to do it. As happens, we spoke for a long time with Wes there, so we'll probably put the extended version of this conversation up on Watcher TV. If you want, you can go watch it over there ad free. And go check it out over there. I think that's going to do it for this episode of Get Scared.
Yeah,
This was a fucking delight.
this was a lot. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you again to Wes Larson. And again, big shout out to Tooth and Claw. Go check it out. And thank you to everyone in the comments who were like, hey, get Wes Larson on the show. All right, we'll see you next time, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.